Hi, my name is Amy, and today I'm going to be taking you through a short Pilates practice using a booty band. So if you have one of these circular bands, you can grab it. If you also have a theraband, you can grab it and make yourself a little loop and use that. Instead, you might just find that they roll a little bit. You don't want to use like a yoga strap as much because you want something with a little bit of give to it. So we're going to start with it just in our hands. Reaching your hands out in front of you, standing comfortably, a little micro bend in your knees. And we're just going to reach those hands up overhead and then start to bring them down. Notice if your shoulders want to lift up towards your ears as you do so. If they do, don't go quite as far. You don't have quite the same range of motion. Notice now what your ribs are doing. Think about knitting them in towards your hip bones. So you're bringing them closer together, reaching them down towards the ground. Last one, as they come up overhead, you're gonna hold here. You're gonna step your right foot back behind your left one and bring your hands over towards that left side, giving a little bit of a tug with the left hand. Pulling that right shoulder back, inhale it up. Left foot's gonna step behind the right one, bringing the hands over to the right, giving a bit of a pull with that right hand. Lifting it up, step the right one over. This time we're gonna bend a little bit into the knees and then lift up. Take it over to the left, bending into the knees, alternating back and forth a few times here. Getting ourselves a little bit fired up, increasing the breath and the heart rhythm. Last one, and coming back to center. We're gonna take that belly band or booty band, place it over the thighs. So just above the knees here, and taking your feet a little bit wider than hip distance, we're gonna start to sink, bending into a chair pose, coming into a squat here. Bending at the hips, hinging forward. So trying to keep a nice flat back here. Your right hand could come back behind if you want. Think about pulling your belly button in towards your spine and flattening that out, and then lifting back up. Exhale it down, inhale it up. As you bend into the knees, think about sending more weight into your heels. Maybe curling your toes up off of the mat, just to test yourself here. And so notice if your toes are down and you're gripping into that mat, we want to try to ease out of that and engage our pelvic floor. One more like this. Bring your hands forward. We're going to stay down in that squat and start to pulse. Pushing the thighs out into the booty band. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stand up. We're gonna bring the hands up, turn the palms to face in. As you bend into the knees this time, sweep your hands back at your sides, and then inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bend into the knees, sweep your hands back. Inhale, find that length. Sweep it back. One more like that, and as we come down and back this time, we're gonna hold and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift it up. You can keep that band on your legs as you make your way down onto your side here. You can set yourself up on your forearm here, and if you are on your forearm, your right elbow is going to be right underneath your shoulder. Think about lifting your ribs away from the ground here. If that's a bit much, you could come down and rest onto the hand, letting it cup into your ear here. And we're going to bend the knees at about 90 degrees, keeping the insides of the feet together, and just lift that top knee up and lower it down. Keeping that left hip rolling almost forward here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to flex into that top foot and just lift that knee and ankle and then lower it. lift, and lower. This belly band is keeping, or booty band, is keeping us from going quite as far, but it's also helping us give that cue to make sure that that hip is not opening as much. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest it down. You can smack that hip out a little bit if you need it, and we'll just roll over onto the other side. I'm just going to flip to the other end of the mat so I can face you. So again, setting up with your left forearm down if you want. Pull those left ribs away from the ground if you're taking this option, or you can come down onto the forearm with your hand supporting your ear. Finding those 90-degree angles in the legs, keeping the insides of the feet together as you open that right knee up and lower it down. For 5. Last one, and we're going to flex into that top foot and lift it up and lower it down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest it down. You can smack that hip out a little bit if you need it. And we're going to come up towards tabletop here. Keeping that band above onto the thighs here. Hands underneath the shoulders, spreading your fingertips nice and wide. We're just going to donkey kick that right leg back and then pull the knee in. Back and in. So keep that right knee from opening out towards the side. Kicking your heel up. Think about keeping your back as flat as you can here. So pulling your belly button in towards your spine, as if I could come by and balance my coffee on your back. For 3, 2, 1. We're gonna open that right knee out towards the side and then bring it in. Keep weight in that right hand so you're not dumping your body over towards the left side here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set your right knee down. Maybe wiggle the hips a little bit. And we'll do that over on the left side. So you're kicking your left heel up and back and then drawing the knee in. Keeping your left hip bone pointing down towards your mat. Nice and strong through the shoulder blades. So that space in between is puffing up a little bit. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to open it out towards the side. Staying nice and strong through that right hand. And the left one. For 5, 4. The shoulder girdle is pushing up. 3, 2, 1. Rest it down. You can sink back into a little child's pose for a second here, resting your forehead down onto the mat, taking a couple of breaths. And we're going to roll over onto our backs here, keeping that band exactly where it is, keeping the knees bent. Feet flat on the floor, walking them in towards you. Hands can come down at the sides, palms pressing down, pushing into the heels. Think about peeling your spine up, lifting the hips, the low back, the mid back, maybe shrugging your shoulders underneath you a little bit, and then slowly lowering back down. If you want to, you can bend the elbows, reach your fingers up to challenge yourself to keep it a little bit more in the lower body and not rely on your hands. Peeling the spine up and lowering it down. One more time as we come up this time, we're gonna hold up at the top. Really focus on lengthening the thigh bones and then start to open the knees out to the side and bring them in. So you're pushing on that belly band, booty band, and then pulling it back in. Keep those hips high. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips. You can just rock side to side. We're going to do one more round of the bridges, working together here. So bring the heels in, bring the knees in, push into the heels, lift the hips, open it out, bring them in, and then hinge at the hips, bringing them down. Lift, open the knees, bring them in, hinge them down. Up, out, in, down. Up, out, in, down. 3 more like that. Last one. Bring it down. You can hug your knees in. You can take that band off of your legs and just set it off to the side. Bending your knees in towards your chest. You can give them a rock side to side. You're going to set the left foot down on the ground, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh, pushing that right knee away in this figure 4 shape, flexing into your right foot, and you can stay here. Or you can reach your hands through, grabbing the back of the left thigh or the left shin, pulling the legs closer without lifting your tail up off of the ground. If that left foot is lifted, flex into it. One more big squeeze. And then keep the legs as they are, opening your arms out towards the side, and then drop your legs over to the left. Trying to bring that right foot onto the left mat or left floor beside you. It doesn't have to reach. If you want to, you can support that left or that right foot with your left hand, or you can push the knee a little bit farther away from you in this spinal twist, keeping your right shoulder down and gazing out towards the right fingers. Slowly start to lift them back up. Uncross them. You're going to cross the left ankle over the right thigh, finding that figure 4 shape right away, pushing the left knee away, and then reaching through if you like to grab the back of the right thigh or the right shin, flexing into that right foot if it's lifted, and then really pressing your tail down. Using as little muscular effort here in the upper body, head and shoulders are heavy. And keeping the legs as they are, open your arms out towards the sides, and then start to drop the legs over towards the right side. Maybe getting that left foot over onto the ground, or using your hand to support it, the ankle, or pushing the knee away. And then gazing over towards the left fingers to keep that left shoulder down. Twisting out your spine. One more breath here. And then lifting the legs back up, uncrossing them. You can wiggle them side to side, or any last little bit of movement that you want here. And then rolling over onto your side, bending into your knees. Take a moment here in this fetal position to thank yourself for showing up, for getting on the mat today, for practicing this short but spicy Pilates class with me. And pushing your way up. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you again soon.